Out of all the decorations the Vat Controller could have picked, why on earth did it have to be these ones?
Groaned Percy. He never liked garden gnomes, and felt like they were watching him. Oh, look at the decorations they put up, Patrick, Eric said excitedly. Don't they seem fun? They're a hazard, that's what they are, Patrick huffed. What if a passenger trips over them and lands on the track? Oh, relax, Patrick. They put them on the sides of the entrances, so I'm sure that won't happen. But you must admit, they look nice. They look alright, I guess. Patrick agreed dismissively. He had never been one to care about the holidays too much.
I must say, gentlemen, the Vat Controller said to the workmen, you've certainly outdone yourselves with these decorations. They look very festive.
Thank you, sir, said a workman. We're glad you like it. We even left bowls of candy out for the children. Hope that's all right.
Of course,
the Vat Controller beamed.
That's very thoughtful of you, actually. However, you all better get back to work.
Right, goodbye, sir. And with that, the workman walked away, leaving the Vat Controller alone on the platform. He quietly tiptoed over to the bowls and peered inside.
Let's see what they have. Oh, they put Snickers and Reese's. They even put Skittles. And M&M's, my favourite.
He looked back to see if the coast was clear.
Maybe I'll just take some for the road. It wouldn't hurt.
He began stuffing his pockets with as much candy as he could.
Sir?
Came a voice. The Vat Controller turned around. He had been so busy taking candy he hadn't noticed Henry's arrival.
What are you doing?
The big green engine asked, perplexed.
Oh, Henry, I was just counting to see how much candy there was. I just wanted to make sure there was enough for everyone.
By sticking them in your pockets?
Well, I just didn't want to put them on the platform, since children will be eating them, you see.
But they're in wrappers.
Well, yes, but the platform is quite dirty. I really should get to work to give it a cleaning.
It looks fine to me.
Well,
You were stealing them, weren't you, sir?
No, of course not. I was, Look, do you want to pull the express tomorrow?
Sure? I guess it'd be nice.
Well, I can make that happen if you pretend this never happened. Deal?
Yes, sir.
Great! That's a good engine.
And the Vat Controller scurried away, leaving a baffled Henry behind.
Sir, I swear that decoration just talked to me.
Nonsense, Percy. Decorations can't talk.
But
You must be hearing things, Percy. Maybe you're just tired.
And with that, the Vat Controller walked away. Percy looked back at the decoration.
maybe the Vat Controller's right.
He thought,
I must be.
You're next, Percy.
Ah!
Oh man, that was hilarious.
You're evil for that, Thomas.
Oh, lighten up, Toby, you'll be fine. You have to admit that was kinda funny. The echoes of the smelting shed faded as Diesel ventured further into the sidings. The night wind blew through the frames of the old cars and engines which sat languishing under years of rust.
Filth,
Muttered Diesel.
though perhaps they have some use. Now, which one to scare them with? Plenty to...
Diesel had been so lost in thought, he hadn't noticed what sat at the end of the line. A huge tender engine.
Watch where you're going, you...
Diesel stopped short. The state of the engine's decay hit him all at once. Its side rods had been ripped off, and patches of corrosion riddled its boiler. Though its smokebox door was missing, it seemed to be staring at him.
Silly me.
Chuckled Diesel.
Getting spooked by this wrecked...
And that's when it hit him.
Spooked. Yes, it's perfect. This'll get him.
Slowly, Diesel pushed the hulking mass out of the siding. It creaked and rocked along the rails as if it might collapse at a moment's notice. Diesel didn't care. He was eager to spook the twins.
Let's see them keep their nerve when this comes creeping up behind them.
It had my design?
gasped Gordon.
And my chassis?
Gasped Murdoch.
Yep,
Edward confirmed.
it was quite the odd-looking engine. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw it. Who are you? What do you want?
There's no need to worry. I mean you no harm. I'm your brother.
My brother?
Yes, I've come to warn you.
Peep, 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 peep. Let me in! Let me in!
Wailed Percy.
No, no, not by the smoke of my chimney, Jim.
I'll chuff, and I'll puff, and I'll break your door in. Oh dear, exclaimed Thomas. It's getting late. Oh, I had no idea. I must find Annie and Clarabelle.
It's the ghost! Take me back, please!
Diesel slowed down, but the engine didn't. Its old coupling snapped, and any brakes it once had were long since disintegrated. Diesel watched in horror as it shot past Harry and Bert, disappeared into the smelting shed, and crashed. All was silent, but not for long. The foreman came stomping and cursing its way out of the shed.
What the devil do you think you're playing at?
He shouted at Diesel.
I have half a mind to drag you in here and scrap you myself for that little stunt.
Diesel went pale.
You take the iron beast back where you found it this instant, and you can stay with it unless you plan on smartening it up.
Speechless, Diesel rolled into the shed. With more care than he usually took, Diesel pulled the engine from the shed and set off towards the old sidings. As he pushed it back where it came from, the fog grew thicker and brought with it an eerie stillness. The yard lights began to flicker. Diesel glanced around. He thought he could see pale fireflies dancing in the night. Suddenly the lights cut out. The fireflies grew brighter, revealing dark shapes behind them. Diesel squinted, and that's when it hit him. They weren't fireflies. They were eyes, peering out from the twisted remains of engines past.
You disturbed my sleep.
Diesel jumped. A face appeared on the engine where there hadn't been one before. It was a gaunt and grimacing. Its eyes narrowed in anger. "Ooh!" shrieked Diesel, and he raced away as fast as he could, while the engine and its spectral friends vanished in the mist.
Can't believe that workman tried to build his own engine out of scrap parts,
Bert said in disbelief.
No way he thought it'd actually work. Some people do very stupid things,
Harry grunted.
Speaking of stupid things,
Bert continued.
Did you hear what old Daddy said? What? I heard him telling the cops that the engine was making sound like it was alive.
Harry scoffed.
How stupid. I think his age is starting to get to him. That old kettle's becoming... Wait. What? Do you hear that? Hear what? Listen.
There was a low creaking noise coming from behind them. It sounded like a scrap engine being moved.
I thought we were the only engines here,
said Harry, puzzled.
Did you see someone come in? No,
Bert answered.
Maybe someone came while we were elsewhere. Hello?
He called.
Who's there?
There was no reply. The creaking got louder and louder and louder. There were deep chuffs to it.
This isn't funny,
Bert snapped.
Whoever's there, show yourselves, right now. I'm not in the mood for...
He trailed off. A large rusted engine emerged from the fog, rolling slowly forward. It had no face, its side rods were broken, and it had cracks in its boiler, with tubes sticking out. Bert went pale.
Harry, we need to get out of here,
he cried.
Nonsense, Bert.
Harry scoffed.
There has to be some one of those steamers pushing it from behind. You can stop with your little joke now,
he called out.
We're not stupid enough to fall for it. Well, I'm not at least. Oi!
Soon the engine's tender came into view. Airy, confident there was another engine behind it pushing, waited to see. But to his horror, when the engine moved further, there was nobody behind it. Now Airy went pale. It sounded like the engine was muttering to itself, but it didn't sound like one voice.
Let me out of my misery.
The twins shook with fear.
Hurry, Harry!
Cried Bert.
We need to get out of...
But to its surprise, Airy was no longer beside him. Bert looked ahead and saw Airy racing out of the sidings with his eyes shut tight and screaming.
Wait for me!
Bert shouted and shot off faster than a bullet. Later that night, Skarloey headed straight to the mines where the workman had asked to meet him. He puffed into a siding. The workman stood there, beside an old grey engine. It looked just like Skarloey. What? What is this? He asked.
This, Skarloey, is your brother, the workman explained. He used to help run the mines.
Really? But I thought Taliclin and I were the only members of our class made.
No, there was one more that was never really known. It was built in a hurry, and they used rather cheap parts for him. He was kind of unreliable, and would need constant maintenance. He would rarely venture out of the mines. I thought it was about time you knew the truth. He got into a bad accident, and the men never repaired him. I got Rheneas to bring him here.
Skarloey didn't know what to say. It felt like there were too many thoughts racing through his mind, and he didn't know what to think. At the same time, he just stared closely at the engine.
And every year, on the date of the accident, it runs again, as a warning to others, shrieking like a lost soul.